Hello and welcome, live English students. My name is Athena, and today I'll be talking with you about 10 words that will help you sound professional, intelligent, and positive at work. You always want to use words that will make you sound professional, yes, and intelligent, but also sounding more positive is also important in communication at work. So let's begin. Okay, the first word is certainly. This word can be used instead of the average, the normal words that we use to communicate agreement, or that you want to agree with someone and say that you'll do it. So we often say, yeah, sure, or okay, or no problem. So the next time your boss asks you, please, could you get that project into me by Friday? You would say, certainly. Or if a colleague asks for your help on a project, then you would say, certainly. This is very positive and a higher level word than just the average overused casual words such as these. These are not wrong. They're just average, and they don't stand out, and they don't have a particularly positive impact. So try practicing this word. Certainly. Okay, the second word I'd like to talk to you about is the word modify. Modify has a softer and more positive feel to it. So a change implies something that needs a lot of work, starting from the beginning. It can sound terrifying. People dislike change, so when you say the word change, it immediately puts up defenses and panic. And it doesn't help people feel good. So we want to use a more positive and a smarter word. So this small change in your word, use the word modify, and it can make you look good. It can make you look more intelligent and understanding of people's feelings. So example, instead of saying, we need to change what we are doing here because the customer is unhappy, it could send panic through your staff. So what you would say is, modifying our approach would make the customer happier. So it gives you the impression of small changes, and that can make you feel good and make the job seem very much easier to accomplish. So please use this word instead of change. Word number 3, complications. Complications is a great alternative to the word problems. Problem has a very heavy, negative, and serious feeling to it. So when people hear your boss has a problem with your work, there is a problem with the report, it sounds overwhelming. So change that word. Don't use it, sorry. We want to use the word complications. So instead of hearing there's a problem with the order and it is running late, you use there have been some complications and we are working on them. So it sounds less serious, and that has a more positive effect on your employees or your boss, your colleagues. Number 4, the word sensational. The word sensational has an extremely positive feel to it that means something wonderful and something great, and a word that is used too often. It is an excellent word, but native speakers love to use it, and so it is overused. It's still a good word, but it is overused, and that word is awesome. I'm sure you've heard it a lot. And so this, instead of giving you just this word, awesome, you need to have some more flexibility and It shows that you're able to express your feelings of excitement or gratitude in other ways. And so sensational is an excellent word to describe feelings of gratitude and enthusiasm. So for example, if I had a really bad morning and I was extremely tired and my coworker suggests that maybe she should bring me a cup of coffee because I look tired, and I would say, that would be awesome. I could say that, yes, and it's okay. But to express even more joy, I would say, that would be sensational. So there's an alternative word that would be great to use at work. Word number 5 is elaborate. This word just means to give some more details, give some more information. This is the word you use when you need some more clarifying, if you're not quite understanding what's going on. And instead of saying, what do you mean? I mean, you could say that, but you want to be more polite and more professional. And so you would want to say, could you elaborate more? Could you elaborate more? That is a very positive way to show interest and that you need a little bit more information. So try being more polite and professional using the word elaborate. Now, if you really want to impress your colleagues and your coworkers, the word you want to use is leverage. The business world loves this word. Okay, it simply means to get an advantage. So here is a great sentence to show you how the word is used. If we can modify our marketing approach, we can get some real leverage over our competitors. Sounds highly intelligent and very positive. Whereas the sentence down here sounds very basic and very simple. If we change our approach, very scary, we can get an advantage over our competitors, and it sounds a little bit negative. So definitely, I recommend using the word leverage instead of get an advantage. Okay, the next word is ramifications. Can you say that? Ramifications. It is similar to the difference between problem and complications. So problem and complications is a little better, softer. Instead of saying consequences, which means something bad that happens, the image is always bad. The better word to use would be ramifications. And the word that often goes with ramifications is the word possible. So it gives it's a little bit a softer approach than the consequences of our decisions. We may need to consider the possible ramifications. These are consequences or bad things that happen that we didn't expect or we didn't want. And so instead of saying consequences, you want to say ramifications, so that gives people the possibility to think about it and not say that it's definitely going to happen. So you want to, for example, when you're considering an idea at work, and if you want your team to think about the bad things that could happen, you would want to say it this way. Word number 8, perplexing. Can you say it? Perplexing. Perplexing. It simply means confusing. But confusing kind of makes you sound a little bit not so smart. So you want to sound smarter when things happen. You know, sometimes you get a strange email. You sent an email to your boss, but it went somewhere else. Confusing things happen all the time. So instead of saying, that's strange, or I'm confused, you want to say it's confusing, but sound really smart and very impressive. And when you're confused, you would say, that's perplexing. Very good word. The 9th intelligent word you would like to use is straightforward. Straightforward. It simply means easy. But easy is a very common word, and it sometimes makes people feel like you're talking down to them a little bit. Like, oh, that's easy. Like, why can't you understand it? But straightforward means very clear and easy to understand. So here's an example sentence. Working with this program is very straightforward. The instructions are clear. So this is a very impressive way to say easy. And if you use it in the office, people will be impressed. The 10th word I want to talk about is like. And we don't want you to use it as much. And not the I like you, you like this, not that like. When you want to explain more information or you want to give an example, we use the word like. But it is so overused in meetings and on a daily basis. Everyone uses it, and sometimes people will use it 5 or 6 times in the same 5-minute talk. So what you want to do is think of another word, and I'm going to give you some alternatives to the word like. So for example, there are opportunities like this for our employees. You're introducing information or showing examples. That is appropriate. But because it's overused, it does not sound professional, and it also sounds like you're uncertain about what you're saying because you're not thinking of a better word. So here's a better way. There are opportunities such as this for our employees. So such as is an alternative to use instead of like. For instance, and specifically. So for example, instead of saying, you need to be really careful with this client, like, if you go to a meeting, you should show up a little early. Take out the like and change it to, you need to be really careful with this client. For instance, if you have a meeting, make sure you are early. Or, if you go to a meeting with this client, you need to be careful. Specifically, bring your own notebook. Something like that. So instead of sounding normal and average and repetitive and unsure, you definitely want to change those words and sound smart in the office. Thank you. That concludes the 10 smart words that you can use to sound more intelligent and positive in the office, also professional. Thank you. Bye.